company and affiliates.
Grasshopper and other pest problems? Here's Chad the Lawn Doctor with a solution.
Grasshoppers are a problem again this year. It's been mentioned and written about in the news and by experts. Watch for the baby nymphs initially, and then as they develop to adults, they feed on vegetation both on the farms and in your gardens at home. Treatment is best early on, but can be treated at any time. Enjoy your summer nights, barbecues, and parties with our Yard Armor Pest Control Service that controls grasshoppers, mosquitoes, spiders, wasps, and other insects. Give us a call at 435-753-LAWN or find us at LawnDoctorCashValley.com.
Do you ever lose your balance or feel dizzy for no apparent reason? Do you hear ringing in your ears or have migraines? Well, you're not alone. 1 in 5 Americans will experience these symptoms, which could be signs you have a problem with your inner ear or vestibular system. Because these symptoms are invisible and hard to describe, they are often overlooked by doctors and dismissed by family and friends. We can help. Call the Vestibular Disorders Helpline at 800-837-8428. That's 800-837-8428. Or visit us online at liferebalanced.org. Sponsored by the Vestibular Disorders Association.
High school sports are as American as apple pie. And going to a game or meet is a chance to see the stars of tomorrow shine today. But as anybody who's ever attended a high school sporting event in Utah knows, you can't have the stars without the stripes. High schools are currently looking for new officials in almost every sport. Who looks good in stripes? Anybody looking for a way to stay connected to a sport they love. If you like the idea of giving back to your community while earning a few extra bucks, chances are you'd look good in stripes too. We want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. No officials means no games. No stripes means no stars. And what kind of America would that be? Utah needs more high school officials. Go to highschoolofficials.com to sign up or learn more. That's highschoolofficials.com.
One smile is great, but one smile in a community of smiles is so much better. A smile has a secret power that most people don't know about. A smile multiplies. It spreads from one person to the next, stretching across entire groups of people. Smile Train knows this and is proud to be creating a wave of smiles across the cleft lip and palate community in over 70 countries. Patients, doctors, advocates, fundraisers. Collectively, our smiles are a celebration of the transformed lives of over 1.5 million children. Learn how Smile Train is helping the cleft lip and palate community at smiletrain.org/learn. Smile Train, changing the world one smile at a time.
It's time for the Garden Guide with your host, Mark Anderson from Anderson Seed and Garden.
New research suggests that people are more likely to eat vegetables if they have a tempting name.
What would life be without homegrown tomatoes? Only 2 things that money can't buy, and that's true love and homegrown tomatoes.
From gardening to landscaping.
Today we are going to try and create garden eyebrows. Kind of like the flowers are sprouting directly from your hair. That makes sense.
Go! Phone lines are open at 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Kind of like eating vegetables.
It's the Garden Guide, now on KVNU 610 AM and 102 FM.
And we welcome you to the Garden Guide on a beautiful Saturday morning. We'll feel right, along with Mark Anderson of Anderson Seed and Garden, joining us in the studio on this Saturday, and a lot to get into and talk about this morning, Mark. I love this time of year. We have a little ornamental plum tree in our front yard, and they're not the perfect fruit, but they're just a fun little snack. And this is the time of year I probably eat about a dozen of those every day as I'm just walking in and out of the house, jumping into the car. I just grab a couple, and You can't really do anything with them other than just eat them fresh and just pop them in your mouth because you can't you can't do anything else with them.
If you eat some every time you go past, it's probably really good.
Yeah, it's just great. And, and that's kind of what, as this time of year rolls around, a lot of fruits coming on. We've got zucchini already. Sometime we have to talk about why it is that zucchinis always seem to outnumber every vegetable that I ever grow. I can plant every other plant, and for some reason, zucchini are the ones that just seem to be the most hardy.
Consistently, you can plant them from seed and have them produce in 45 days.
Yeah.
So 45 days from seed, and it'll be producing zucchinis. Like mine's already says zucchinis. I didn't plant mine from seed until after the 1st of June.
And
so it's like they're just going nuts already.
And I put 4 plants in, and that was probably a little
that's enough for your whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
and then I did 4 crookneck, and I did 4 pumpkin, and the zucchini were like, no, we're going to be the only ones that come up. We're going to take over the rest of the garden. And so we have zucchini everywhere. The other plants were like, nope, I guess we'll just give up.
Yeah.
And so, already we were watering the other night, and I thought, oh, what are we going to do with all this zucchini?
Yeah, exactly. My vines are kind of going all over the place already.
Yeah.
So I've got squashes setting and fruiting. I've got a giant pumpkin that's probably basketball sized.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it has taken off this week. So I've got 2 that are close to basketball size or possibly larger. I didn't look at them this morning. And like 3 more that are probably volleyball size. Yeah. So I got to decide which ones I want to keep and which ones it's time to go. So
I went out and I thinned our peach tree again. This was the 3rd time, and it's just so painful to do it. But the poor thing is just slumped over so bad, and I've got ropes trying to keep it up as much as I can. And
right.
Finally, I'm like, no, we just got to take more off of it.
Fruit trees in my orchard were looking a little dry this week, so I gave them a good soak the last couple of days. Yeah, so I do like a little drip on the hose and put it at the base of the tree and let it just kind of fill the basin up, and I'll leave it on for an hour or so and just let it just kind of saturate in there. And so the trees are very happy now. They're doing great. Loaded with fruit, like absolutely loaded with fruit. I'm a little concerned about my summer apple though, because it's usually not ready it's usually ready by mid-August. Like when the kids go back to school, that's when it's kind of like finishing up. I think I'm going to have some fruit that's like ready next week.
Oh, it's come on that early.
It's come on really early. So early ripening of my summer apple, and it's like the best pie apple of all time. I'm just super excited for it. But it's kind of early.
Yeah. I mean, we're only
really early,
mid-July. So
yeah, and we have had a cooler July. So it's definitely been a little bit cooler with the cold fronts coming through. So plants are performing really well. I've got a bunch of tomatoes set, a bunch of tomatoes that are starting to ripen up, and so we're excited about that. Already harvested some ripe tomatoes, so that's
nice.
that's a good sign. And cucumbers look like they're ready to go. And if the deer hadn't eaten my beans, we would have a lot more beans, but they got in one night and nibbled the beans, which was not very nice.
No, it never is.
Stupid deer.
Yeah, we've got a lot we can talk about this morning. Plus, also walking around my neighborhood yesterday afternoon, I noticed a couple. Mine haven't gotten that high yet because I planted them a little later, but corn already starting to tassel. So great time to talk about how to keep worms out of the corn.
Yeah.
So
and fertilize the corn. So
definitely a lot we can talk about, and we can take your calls at 435-753-KVNU. That's 435-753-5868. And starting things off too over at Anderson Seed and Garden. Big day today, Mad Money kicking off.
Mad Money. So Mad Money's been going all week long. So we've been redeeming Mad Money all week. And this weekend is kind of like your last chance for this sale on Mad Money, because we will have a sale again in September and October. And then we've got one at Christmas during the holidays. And so for those of you that have been coming into Anderson's this spring, for every $10 that you spend, you get $1 back in Mad Money. And if you're giving us your customer number, which happens to be your phone number, we're tracking that for you. So every time you make a purchase, it accumulates Mad Money. During our Mad Money sales, like this week, and especially today, you can come in and use your Mad Money just like cash for up to half of your purchase. So if you've accumulated $50 in Mad Money, which means you spent $500 this spring. So if you got $50 in Mad Money, you can come in and get something worth $100 or multiple things that add up to $100 and use $50 of your Mad Money and $50 of your money and basically get it for half price.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the best sale. And this is our customer appreciation sale, really, to kind of keep everybody happy that's been coming in the store. So this is a great chance for you to come in and get anything that's a regular price, anything that's on sale already. You get the sale price and you can use your Mad Money towards it. And the only things you can't use it on are gift cards and bulk seeds. So everything else is free game. And some of the sales we've got going on right now, we've got all of our nursery stock is on sale. So trees and shrubs and vines and roses and evergreens are 20% off. And fruit trees are 25% off. So not only do you get the 20% off on a lot of the nursery stock or the 25% on the fruit trees, then you can use your Mad Money towards it as well. So it's a really, really great time to come in. We're starting to clearance out a lot of different items, and you can use your Mad Money as well as take advantage of the sale prices that we've got going on right now. So good time to come into Anderson's. Great weekend, and lots of plants out there, and where a lot of this, like the early crops are starting to finish up. So like my peas are totally gone. Yeah. And spinach and lettuce, they're like shot. They're pretty much done for the year. I've got some extra space. So it's just like, well, we could plant some more plants in there. You could plant some more seeds in there, and I'm getting ready to start digging holes for my fruit trees. So this is a really good time of year, even though it's hot, to get out there and do some planting.
I just, we were talking about planting fruit trees. I've mentioned a couple times we planted an apricot tree the first of the summer, and it just has shocked me how well that tree has just taken off. And I'm telling you, if you're looking for the secret ingredient for starting a fruit tree, Bigfoot, it is amazing. That mycorrhiza, you add that into the root ball, and they go crazy. Yeah, they go crazy.
So I did an apricot, not last year, but the year before. So this is its third season, and I did the Bigfoot on it, and we've kind of babied it along a little bit. It's in a good spot. Like, it's got good sun and it's got some good soil, and it is 12 feet tall. So it has more than doubled in size, because it was about 5 feet when we planted it.
You put it in.
Yeah, it's about 12 feet tall. I can't reach the top of it without a ladder, and it's completely covered with fruit right now. So it's covered. So I had to thin it like crazy, because it was going to like break all the branches on that apricot. So they're coming along great. And then my peach tree that I planted 3 years ago, so this is its fourth year, is probably close to 15 feet tall. It's kind of like maxed out at its size, and it's absolutely loaded. Also, it's just covered. So the Bigfoot really gets your trees and shrubs and flowers and vegetables off on the right foot, because they've got that network of roots that will go out and find water and find nutrient more efficiently, more effectively than the plant will itself, and brings it to its host. And so those plants just take off like crazy.
Well, I know for us, we have never been able to plant, for some reason, bell peppers in our garden. Never. We'll put them in, and they just shrivel right up and die. And this year we put in 3 plants. We thought we would try it again. I was pretty skeptical, but we put them in, and we planted them the same time we put in the apricot trees. So we treated those in our tomato plants, I think, as I've mentioned before, with the Bigfoot mycorrhiza. And I went out to on Wednesday night. We were watering. There's 4 little bell peppers on there
already. Yeah.
So excited. The first time we will ever have had bell peppers come out of our garden. So
I love it.
It's great.
I got a bunch of peppers this year. So we did a few hot peppers. So we got some Carolina Reapers, and we've got some habanero, and a couple other really hot ones that are not my favorite, but my daughter wanted to do them. And then we've got a bunch of gypsy peppers, which is like hands down my favorite bell pepper of all time. The Gypsy is amazing. It's the sweetest pepper you'll ever grow. I'll bring one for you.
A Gypsy.
Yeah, Gypsy peppers, yeah.
Okay.
They're a 2-lobed pepper instead of a 4-lobed pepper. So they only have 2 chambers instead of 4. So it's a little bit smaller. But when they're kind of lime green, they're not ripe yet. But when they go yellow, then they're ripe and they're really, really sweet. But then they'll change to orange. And then when they're orange, they're like, oh, these are so good.
Really good.
And then they'll go from orange to red. And when they're red, it's just like, they're just so sweet and good and kind of a citrusy flavor to them. So they are to die for.
Yeah.
They're like so good.
About the only thing I've realized, though, in using Bigfoot on our tomatoes is now our tomato plants are huge.
Yeah, they're gigantic.
We're going to have more tomatoes than we've ever had.
I've got plants that are 5 feet tall right now and just go into town, and they're just covered with flowers, and they're just covered with small fruits, and they're just starting to go. So actually, this is a good time to talk about it. If you haven't been using calcium on your tomato plants and your pepper plants and your squashes, now's the time to start using it, because blossom end rot's going to start showing up on the plants. So hotter temperatures makes it harder for the plants to pick up the nutrient out of the soil. And in many cases, the calcium that's in our soil is not very mobile. So the plants can pick it up, they can use it, but it doesn't move very quickly through the plant. So the furthest distance that it has to go is from the root system all the way up through the stem, all the way out to the flower and the fruit, and it doesn't quite make it to the end of the blossom where the fruit is. And so then you get these brown sunken spots on the bottoms of your fruit, and it can happen on peppers, it can happen on squashes, it can especially happen on tomatoes. Yeah, and it doesn't make the rest of the fruit inedible. It's still fine. You just cut the bottom off, but you end up losing about a quarter of your fruit. And,
it's like a little scab.
Yeah, and you got to cut off, and it's not very attractive looking. And so you kind of look at it and you go, the tomato's rotting, so I'm going to get rid of it. So it's problematic, but it can be solved very easily if you use calcium on your plants. And so there's some liquid calcium that you can use. You can spray it right on the plant, or you can water the plant with it, get it all over the leaves. It'll pick it up through the leaves, pick it up through the root system, and it's a mobile form of calcium, so it will move very quickly through the plant. And a lot of my customers and gardeners are using calcium nitrate as a soil amendment, because the calcium nitrate is a very fast-moving form of calcium. It's got nitrogen with it, too. So the plant picks up the nitrogen very quickly, moves that through the plant, pulls the calcium along with it. And so if you're using calcium nitrate, or if you're using calcium chloride as a spray, CalMag from Fox Farms is really good because it's got magnesium and calcium in it. The magnesium is really helpful for more blooming and getting the fruit to set, and the calcium helps with that. And then the calcium helps with ripening. So it'll actually ripen your fruit up faster if you can get that dose of calcium into your plant. So we have Yield Booster from Fertilome, which is a great source of a liquid source of calcium. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the CalMag from Fox Farm is really great as well too. And I've got a whole bunch of products that have like calcium nitrate in it as well too, but it's critical for tomato plants, especially if you're growing them in raised beds or in containers, because the soil in the raised beds and the containers they just don't have much calcium in them. It's not normal for them to supplement that soil with calcium.
With calcium,
yeah,
okay.
And so your plants in containers tend to be really susceptible to it, and so you have to use a fertilizer that has a lot of calcium in it.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you remember, Mark with Green Grow that was here, their product has like 8 or 10% calcium in it, and it's calcium nitrate based. And so it's a great way to supplement your plants with that calcium that they need to help with fruit set and fruit ripening and to prevent blossom end rot. So this is the time to do it. It's kind of critical right now.
All right. 435-753-KVNU, the phone number. If you have a question, comment for Mark here on the Garden Guide on KVNU. And we can take your calls, your comments. If you're starting to see blossom end rot, if you're starting to see, we got to talk about insects, because everybody's seeing grasshoppers, and that's just, it seems to be that time of the year, Mark.
Yep, it is. It's that time of year. So grasshoppers, not as bad as the last couple of years. So they have kind of backed off a little bit. The last 2 years, grasshoppers were plentiful, and it seems like by mid-July they were worse than they were in the spring. This year, not as large of a crop of grasshoppers, but we're still seeing quite a few of them, and so we're using. Baits are starting to work better now because their food source is starting to dry up. Yeah, since we've had a dry month, their food source, like the field next door, the vacant lot out back, once those start to dry up, that's when the bait's really, really effective. So I had a customer in yesterday, and she's like, "We've been using the bait for the last month, and they're just not stopping the grasshoppers." And so I was like, "Well, where are you putting the bait?" She's like, "Well, I'm putting it right around my plants." And I'm like, "Well, if you've got this beautiful lush green tomato and this dry bran flake, which one do you think they're going to be most attracted to?" It's like, well, the plant's probably, yes. Yeah, the plant is way more attractive to them, so they're not eating it. So I told her, I was like, is the vacant lot next door to your house where they're coming from, is that starting to turn brown? She's like, yes. It's like, okay, put your bait out there, and let's get them out there before they get to your yard. Once they get to your yard, then we need to use a spray to knock them down, or a repellent to keep them from coming in the first place. Yeah. So we're still selling a lot of our Mosquito Go repellent. And not only does it repel mosquitoes, but it repels grasshoppers, and it repels moths, and all these adult insects that come in and lay eggs on the plants. It repels those and makes them go somewhere else. And so it won't work on larval stages of insects, because once they're on the plants, they're just going to sit there and eat the plant. But it prevents the adults from coming in and laying the eggs on the plant, so then you don't have the babies nibbling on your plants the whole time. And so the repellent works really, really, really well, and it's made from cedar oil. So the cedar oil smells good, makes your yard smell great, repels mosquitoes and moths and grasshoppers and all kinds of insects, and it's safe to use. Lasts for probably about 3 weeks, and then it's time to do another application. So I did an application early on, probably about mid-June. It's about time to do another one. We're about to mid-July, so I'm going to do another one. But bugs haven't seemed to be too much of a problem this year. Like, the only problem I have is like the big brown furry ones that jump fences.
And unfortunately, they just smell the repellent and say,
they go, "Ooh, I'm
okay with that."
Yeah, I like cedar smoked.
It's like me. I enjoy the smell of mosquito repellent. It reminds me I'm camping. And so now, if the repellents aren't effective, then you can go, with a 7
with an insecticide,
and that's always a good idea too this time of year.
So Lambda, like Bug Blaster Lambda, is a brand new product, safe to use on fruits and vegetables, very inexpensive, long lasting, very effective on some of the hardest to kill insects. So high yield Bug Blaster Lambda is our number one go-to. The 7 is amazing, so that's really good too. It does have a shorter harvest interval from when you spray to when you harvest. So on many things, the 7 you can spray today, and you can actually harvest it tomorrow, wash it off, and eat it, and you're okay. Good to go. Yeah, it will break down that quickly, but it does have a longer residual. And so you're going to get 2 weeks of control out of it. Very effective on grasshoppers and aphids and all kinds of different bugs that we're starting to see problems with. Tobacco budworms. We're treating all the flowers on Center Street and on Main Street right now, and at the Lob Plaza, weekly.
Because tobacco budworm.
Yeah, because we've got so many petunias and geraniums that they just love the petunias and the geraniums. So the Lambda is great for that, and the Bug Blaster, and so is the 7. If you want to go with the organic option, then we would probably recommend Triple Action from Fertilum. The Triple Action is a combination of pyrethrum, which is the base for the 7 and the Lambda. So pyrethrum is the natural form of insecticide. Okay. And so these other insecticides have been derived from that naturally occurring substance. They've just been able to recreate it in the lab. And so that's very effective and very safe for people. But the Triple Action has neem oil, which is a natural repellent also, and then it has the pyrethrum in there. And so it'll give you a quick knockdown, repelling, kills insect eggs. So the Triple Action is really a great option if you want to go with a organic version of the insecticide. And it's safe to use right up to the day of harvest. So you could spray it this morning and go, "Oh, dang, I was going to eat that tonight." Harvest it rinse it off, eat it, and away you go. So much shorter interval from when you spray to when you harvest.
Okay.
So very, very effective that way. And you had mentioned like the corn earworms.
Yeah.
So they will be showing up here as soon as
yes, when you start to see tassels and silk.
Yep, as soon as the silk show up on the corn. If you've had problems in the past with the corn earworms, and it's really kind of gross to like harvest the corn, you think it's going to be great, and you start to husk it, and there's like big chunky worms right in the top of it, and it's very unappetizing. Yeah.
Nasty looking things.
And they will do quite a bit of damage, but usually you can just cut that section off. It's okay. The rest of the corn will be fine, but it's just not fun to see parts of your harvest nibbled by somebody else. So to prevent that, we have found that the cedar oil granules work great.
Oh.
Yeah. And even the liquid works exceptionally well. In fact, it might even work better than the granules because you can spray it on the corn.
Okay.
So you can spray on the corn because we're not eating the corn. We're eating the corn on the inside.
Yeah.
It's got the covering on it. And so the liquid cedar oil, we usually tell people, please don't use it in your garden because it will flavor your vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
So you spray your tomatoes with it. It gets on the tomato fruit itself, and then all of a sudden you've got cedar flavored tomatoes. Yeah. But if you spray the corn's protected inside.
From the husk.
Yeah, it's protected. And so you could spray that because we're not eating the green on the outside. We're eating the corn on the inside. And so you can spray it right on the plants, and it's a little moth that comes in and it lays its eggs right on the silks of the corn. So when your corn is tasseling, that means the silks are out and it's dropping pollen onto the silk. So it's like it's not fertilizing. Well, I guess it is fertilizing. Yeah, right. It's fertilizing the corn, so it will produce. And if you use an insecticide or if you use a repellent, it will stop or kill those little worms before they are laid on the corn or before they hatch and get into the corn and do some damage. And if you're seeing earwigs inside your corn, it's because there's another insect inside there nibbling on your corn.
And the earwigs are going in after them.
They're going after they're more predators than they are scavengers, and so they're going after the other insects. So there's usually corn earworms in there. There's aphids. There's something that the earwigs really want. And so for organic options, of course, the cedar oil is going to do a great job to repel the insects so they don't come and lay their eggs on the corn in the first place. If you want a really effective insecticide, the spinosad or the spinosad soap will kill the caterpillars on contact as they hatch before they get into the corn. And so that would be my first line of defense after the repellent would be spinosad or spinosad soap. And then if you need to get a little bit more serious, then the Bug Blaster Lambda or the 7 will be like your most effective insecticides. But the spinosad and the spinosad soap, 100% organic, totally safe to use right up to the minute you're going to harvest and eat, but super, super effective on caterpillars, which is our targeted pest for the corn earworms.
Get out of those.
Yeah. So great for cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, for little green cabbage loopers, but exceptional on corn earworms.
Okay.
And I have no qualms about spraying that at any moment in my garden if necessary to control targeted pests.
Great alternative.
Yeah,
excellent.
really good.
All right. Well, we're looking for your calls. 753 KVNU for the Garden Guide. We've got a break here at the bottom of the hour, and then we'll be right back. We need to talk about lawns. I see a lot of clover, morning glory that's taken over, so we can talk about that and take your calls as more of the Garden Guide continues next here on KVNU. Your KVNU News headlines. I'm Will Feelright. A 37-year-old South Ogden woman has been arrested after she allegedly tried to flee from Logan City Police and Utah Highway Patrol troopers, striking several police cruisers during a pursuit, according to officers. Kindy Ann Viator was booked early Friday morning into the Cache County Jail. Now, according to Logan City Police Lieutenant Barry Parslow, officers responded to a suspicious person in a vehicle, which led to a chase after the suspect fled. Now, the driver allegedly rammed multiple vehicles and drove at an officer who had exited their vehicle. Now, the suspect, later identified as Viator,
was eventually cornered into a business parking lot near 1800 North Main Street, explained Parslow. Now, the South Ogden woman continued to try and flee, entering a second business lot near 2000 North Main Street before colliding head-on into an officer's vehicle and being taken into custody. Now, Parslow said 3 officers sustained injuries but are expected to recover. Now, Viator was arraigned during a virtual hearing Friday in Logan's 1st District Court, appearing by web conference from jail. She was charged with multiple felonies, including assault on a peace officer and failing to stop at the command of law enforcement. Now, Viator requested a public defender, claiming she was likely going to lose her teaching job after being arrested. Judge Spencer Walsh said that Viator posed a substantial danger to the community. He refused to grant her bail and ordered her to appear again in court July 28th. And a 19-year-old was seriously injured Friday following a crash involving a tractor at a construction site in Farmington. Now, according to the Farmington Police Department, the man was driving the tractor at a site near Lagoon Drive when it rolled just before 9:30 a.m. Now, a medical helicopter was called and airlifted the unidentified victim to a nearby hospital. Well, we're going to see daytime temperatures over the next several days in the low 90s with overnight temperatures in the high 50s with mostly clear skies through the weekend. Will Feel-Right, KVNU News.
I'm Jim Basketball. We lead it off with baseball. Returning from the All-Star break, Red Sox carry their 10-game winning streak into Wrigley Field. Seiya Suzuki, though, hit a 3-run home run as the Cubs stopped that streak 4-1. Chris Bassett and 3 relievers combined on the shutout. First place Blue Jays blanked the Giants 4-0. Ozzie Albies a 3-run home run as the Braves beat the Yankees 7-3. Junior Cameron Arrow went deep twice. Yandy Diaz grand slam, Rays all over the O's 11-1. Bryce Harper had 2 long balls knocked in 4, not enough. Taylor Ward, the go-ahead 2-run shot in the 7th. Angels beat the Phillies 6-5. Austin Hayes hit 2 of the Reds' 4 home runs. Nick Lodolo 7 strong. Reds double the Mets 8-4. Quinn Priester out-dueling Tyler Glasnow for 6 frames. Caleb Durbin homered and drove in a pair. Brewers blanked the Dodgers 2-0. That's their 8th straight win. Manny Machado grand slam capping a 5-run night. Padres over the Nationals 7-2. Kyle Stowers a walk-off 2-run jack. Had 3 hits in the Marlins 8-7 win over the Royals. Randy Rosarina solo shot. Luis Castillo 6 2/3 scoreless. Mariners over the Astros 6-1. They get within 4 games of Houston for first place in the West. Corey Seager a 2-run double with 2 outs in the 8th. Rangers over the Tigers 2-0. Detroit's dropped 5 straight games. WNBA All-Star Friday night from Indiana featured the 3-point contest.
Sabrina Ionescu, just ridiculous again. From the wing, starting to slow a bit. How about the money ball? She got it at 28 already. Ionescu, this is absurd. She is the master of this contest. A 30 spot for Sabrina Ionescu.
No doubt Sabrina Ionescu wins the 3-point contest while her teammate and Natasha Cloud wins the skills competition and Scotty Scheffler 1-shot lead at the Open Championship halfway through.
These deals are going fast. Head to Cal Ranch this weekend to get serious summer savings for 3 days only. Find apparel to dress the whole family and save even more on adult and kids apparel with an additional 50% off the lowest marked price on clearance clothing, footwear, and clothing accessories. Keep up with all your summer activities with 40% off all watercraft and 15% off all trailers. Whatever summer brings your way, we're here to help with the guaranteed best prices, or we price match. So stop by your neighborhood Cal Ranch early from July 18th through the 20th for summer's best deals from apparel to aquatics.
We're your Cal Ranch store, ranch and home store, and so much more.
Hurry in and save at Cal Ranch.
The Garden Guide with Mark Anderson from Anderson Seed and Garden on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
And welcome back to the Garden Guide here on KVNU on this Saturday morning. Right now, 65 degrees outside the KVNU studios as we're going to see temperatures low 90s today and tomorrow and even into first of next week.
It's kind of normal for middle of July.
And nice that we have avoided at least somewhat the high 90s, which
is great.
Low 90s is okay. I'll take
we
them.
haven't hit 100.
Yeah. Definitely needing some water, though. And we can talk about lawns here coming up here in a few minutes. But Before we do that, want to mention again, Anderson Seed and Garden Mad Money Sale going on, final day today.
Yep, right now. So Mad Money Sale, this is our July Mad Money Sale. It is our customer appreciation sale going on. We've got some great deals happening already. So trees and shrubs and vines and roses and evergreens and flowering trees, they're all 20% off right now. And our fruit trees are 25% off. So a little extra discount on the fruit trees. Great time to plant those. In fact, somebody asked me the other day, when is the best time to plant? And I said, well, from now until November.
Yeah.
is the best time to plant.
Really? So, until the ground freezes?
Until the ground freezes. So we got a while. But it's not a problem to plant in the middle of summer. In fact, most of the trees in my yard have all been planted in July and August because that's the time when I actually have time to get outside and do stuff. And so that's we take advantage of that. So some great specials on trees and shrubs and fruit trees, 25% off. But then you can use your Mad Money on top of that. So not only are you getting the discount, but then if you've been coming in the store all spring from March until now, you've been accumulating Mad Money. So for every $10 that you spent in the store, you get $1 back in Mad Money. So let's just say you spent $500 in the store in various visits throughout the spring, and you've got $50 in Mad Money. Let's say you come in and you want to buy a shade tree that's $125. Well, it's already 25% off. And so, 20% off. So you're going to get 20% off. So it's basically going to be about $100 once you get your discount on it. And then if you have $50 in Mad Money, you can use your $50 in Mad Money towards your purchase. So take another $50 off. So you're going to get a $125 tree for $50. Yeah. I mean, you start doing the math and you go, oh, well, that's a really great price. That's going to be a better price than you will get when we start to do our clearance sale in August, and we're selling stuff at half price because you're getting the 20% off, plus you're using your Mad Money towards it. This is how we reward our customers that have been coming in all spring. So you can come in and use the Mad Money. You can use it on fertilizers. You can use it on pesticides. You can use it on home decor. You can use it on trees or shrubs. You can use it on everything in the store except for gift cards and bulk seeds. So everything else is free game. Gift cards and bulk seeds can't use the Mad Money on, but you can basically use it on anything else. Yeah, so great time to come in.
And finishes up today.
Yep, today's the last day for Mad Money.
All right. Well, let's head out to the phone lines. We have Kathy joining us on the line from Dayton. Kathy, welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are y'all doing today?
Doing great, Kathy. How about you?
Doing fine. I have a question about my lavender. It looks really great and grows really well and goes to seed fast. And I look all over Logan when we're down there, and I'm going, how come their lavender plants aren't going to seed so fast? What do I do?
That is a great question. It could be a couple different things that's causing it. But how long does it usually bloom for you?
Maybe a month.
That's really not too bad. If you're getting a month out of it, a month to 6 weeks is probably pretty darn average, with 6 weeks being exceptional with the lavender. So I don't think you're necessarily doing anything wrong. The lavender, to get the blooms to last a little bit longer, sometimes if it's a little bit shadier, so if you get a little bit of shade in the late afternoon, that will help the blossoms last a little bit longer, because when it is hot, they will fade a little bit quicker than they would if they were getting a little bit of shade and protection. Best thing to get them to bloom more is to use magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium on them to get more blossoms, and then make them as healthy as possible. It would not hurt from time to time to use like the Bigfoot or the Kangaroot on them to encourage more root development, because the more root system that they've got, the more they're going to flower and the healthier they're going to be as well too. So it sounds like you're kind of doing everything right. You could just maybe add a little bit of something into the mix to maybe get them to last a little bit longer.
Okie doke. I will try that. It just seems like in Logan they bloom forever and ever. I'm just going, what's wrong with mine?
Yeah. I'm not sure. It might be just coincidental that somebody else's are blooming a little bit later than yours, or who knows? Who knows? How's the rest of your garden growing, though, Kathy?
it's doing fine. My tomatoes are going off like crazy, and
good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what we like. That's what we like to hear. Beans. Have we got beans coming on yet?
I have not planted beans this year. I plant beans every other year, and I've got squash growing, and I already harvested my spinach. I've got a small garden spot usually, and
we've been eating potatoes, and the potatoes have been outstanding. They've been so good, so good. And then I grew kohlrabi this year, and we always eat them raw. They're just really good raw. But we decided to roast them. And so we roasted some in the oven, kind of like last few years we've been roasting like cauliflower and broccoli, but we decided to roast the kohlrabi, and I did kind of a little bit of a heat mix. It's made for chicken, but it's called kickin' chicken.
Oh, okay.
And so it's got a little bit of heat to it. So I used the kickin' chicken on it, and I roasted them with avocado oil. Oh, they were
really
absolutely delicious. Yeah. So Kathy, you need to grow kohlrabi next year. Yeah.
I've never done kohlrabi. I've seen it, but it looks odd.
It's actually really easy to grow, and the tubers, I guess they're not really tubers, they're just kind of like growths that grow on top of the soil. They grow on top of the soil instead of under the soil, but it really kind of tastes like a turnip, but I think it's a little sweeter than the turnip, and the texture is a little bit better on it. It's firm and crunchy, but we roasted it, and literally it disappeared because it was so good. Everybody just like ate it up. It was
gobbled it up.
Yummy. Yeah, it was really yummy. So worth giving a shot.
Avocado oil.
Avocado oil can handle a little higher heat, and it won't burn. And so I like to roast with the avocado oil because it doesn't, like the olive oil is really nice, but sometimes if the temperature gets too hot, it'll start to burn a little bit. And so the avocado can handle hotter temperatures. So.
And what was the spice you said you used on it?
It's called kickin' chicken. Yeah, kickin' chicken, and I think it's a Weber one. So it's made for like grilling chicken, and it's got just a little bit of red, like chili pepper in it,
on it,
but a bunch of other good things. And so I'll usually use that, and I put a little bit of Lowry's seasoned salt on there too, because the kickin' chicken doesn't have quite enough salt in it, so it bugs me. And so I had to go like a little bit more salt to it. But it was absolutely delicious, Kathy. Yeah,
I'm writing this down because I like to eat veggies.
Yeah, yep. We do too. This time of year, we're just like, what do we need to get at the grocery store? Milk.
Yeah.
We'll go get milk, a
couple eggs.
And we're just
good.
like eating out of the garden like all summer long. It's like, I mean, how much healthier can you get than doing that, So.
Yeah. What the favorite part about this time of year is?
It is. Kathy, thanks so much for calling in this morning.
Have a good day.
All right,
you too. That frees up a phone line, 753-5868. 435-753 KVNU. If you have a question, comment for Mark Anderson, Seed and Garden. Now, we were talking as we were going into the break, Mark, I'm seeing a lot of clover, morning glory this time of year.
Lots of weeds. A lot of
weeds in the lawn.
We had a really wet spring to start off with, and then about the latter part of May, the faucet turned off, and it's just been kind of dry since. But the weeds really had an opportunity to take off like crazy. So lots of morning glory, lots of puncture vine, lots of dandelions and clover. And it's a little hot right now to go after weeds in your lawn. But if you've got weeds in your garden or your flower beds, the Decimate from Fertilome actually works better in hotter temperatures than most every other herbicide out there. So if you really want to get rid of some morning glory in your garden, or if you really want to get rid of some clover that's snuck into your flower beds, it will take them out very, very nicely. The 80 to 100 degrees, the Decimate works amazingly well.
Wow.
Yeah, and it works really, really fast. And so one section of my garden kind of got puncture vine into it a couple years ago, and we've been working to get rid of it. And purslane, of course, purslane's like all over the place. But I can be very careful and selective with the Decimate. Since it biodegrades in 24 hours, it's completely gone after 24 hours. And so, like where my peas were finishing up, I had some of that puncture vine right in there, and I had some morning glory. And it's like I can try and pull that by hand, but it always leaves a little bit of root system. And it seems like 2 weeks later,
it's right back.
It's just
again.
right back again. Yeah, it's just right back again. So I went down the row of the peas, which is a wider row because I've got like 3 feet between rows. So lots of weeds in between there where the water kind of got out of control from the soaker hose. And I just use the Decimate down both sides of the rows, and then my carrots and my beets are just to the right of that. So I was very careful not to get the carrots and the beets, but I just sprayed all those really difficult to control weeds between the peas and the fence line. And 24 hours, they're like dead, like completely crisp and brown. And so now it's time to till that up. And I could plant some more beans back in that area. I mean, it's only the 19th of July. So I could plant more bush beans back in there. They'll produce in 55 to 60 days. I could plant some early corn there and have that corn coming on the end of September. I mean, there's multiple things that we could plant back in there. I think I might plant some more beets and some more chard because the deer came in that one night in my garden when I didn't have the fence completely secured. And they nibbled on my chard, and they nibbled on my beets, which was not very nice. But then they really ate my beans. But the beans are coming back.
That's
so
always
they ate the tops off the beans, but now the beans are coming back. So it's like, okay, they're gonna be all right. But yeah, so I was able to go in there and spray and kill those weeds that I just couldn't pull because they're just gonna come back anyway. And then I'll just till the whole thing in to the garden. Maybe I'll throw a little bit of compost out there and till that in, and then we'll recycle that space with beans or corn or maybe some more beets or carrots. I mean, anything that's going to be 75 days or less to produce. And if you really want to, you could throw, since you have 4 zucchinis, you might as well have 6. So you could throw some more zucchinis or crooknecks in there. And I mean, they'll be producing by the end of August. You put them in there right now, they'll produce the end of August and September. And then you'll have like a new plant coming on through the fall until it freezes the end of September, 1st of October. So.
True.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Now, so Decimate, did you just use like a squirter bottle to go down through the rows?
I used my pump-up sprayer.
Okay.
And trigger sprayer would work great, but I just used a pump-up sprayer with a fan nozzle on it so I can control it a little bit better. Yeah, and so it's not like spraying all over the place, and that works great. But for other weeds in the lawn, we need to wait for temperatures to get below 90. If we get a couple days where the temperatures are below 90, you could go after those weeds and spray. Weed-free zone would be like the best. So weed-free zone works on just all the hard-to-kill weeds, and it just works fast, and it just does a great job. Small amount of active ingredient to get the job done, and it really goes a long ways for your money. So it's a little bit more expensive, but it goes 2 or 3 times farther than most other herbicides, so you actually get more value out of it because of how far it goes. Like I've used a pint bottle and covered almost a half an acre with it, and it's only supposed to cover like 5,000 to 10,000 square feet, and I've got more than double out of it because you just don't need to drown the plants with it. You just need a really light spray, and all of a sudden,
it does the trick.
24 hours later, they're just all curling up and dying. Okay. So after this phone call, we should definitely talk more on lawns because between now and the 1st of October is prime time for planting grass.
And
I had somebody in yesterday. We were talking about it because they've got a new park strip. They just their city came in and put curb and gutter in, and they were going to put down sod. And I was like, well, if you want to do something different, we can do a different type of grass that you don't have to water as much.
Yeah.
And it will really save you water and effort and labor and really do a great job in her park strip.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get right to that. But first, we've got Noel joining us on the line from River Heights. Welcome to the show, Noel.
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Hey, I have a question. You were talking about putting calcium on your tomatoes and squash plants.
Yes.
How often do you do that?
Excellent question. It works fairly quickly, and what we usually recommend is once every 2 weeks for 2 or 3 applications.
And is it better to spray it on the plants or to water it in?
If the plants are bigger, like they are right now, I would say do the spray and spray it on the foliage because it's going to pick it up much quicker. Earlier in the season, we're using the calcium nitrate and other fertilizers on the ground around the plants. But since the fruit is really, really like forming right now, we need to use something that's a little bit quicker. So I would go with either the Yield Booster or the CalMag from Fox Farm.
Okay.
All right.
And another question on the tomato plants. I can't remember whether when the leaves are turning up, is that due to the hot weather stress or is that due to the disease?
Yeah, if they are cupping and so the edges of the leaves are curling upward, it's usually stress. We are starting to see some diseases in the plants. I had to pull one of my tomatoes, but I think it was actually diseased before I planted it because it just showed up like almost instantly after I planted it. So I tried to baby it along, but it just kept getting worse, so I just yanked it so it wouldn't affect my other plants. But we are starting to see some early and some late blight on the tomato plants, and we are starting to see verticillium and fusarium on the plants. So if you think it's a disease, no, bring me a sample. Just cut a branch off and let me take a look at it. Let's see what's going on. I'll be able to tell you if it's stress or if it's a disease, and we can do a couple different things to try and get those under control, depending on which one it is.
Yeah, it does seem like the leaves are turning up. So
yeah.
Could you kind of spray the leaves with, moisture to try to get some more moisture onto the plants?
The key is watch them after the sun goes down. And so, I'm okay with them stressing a little bit during the day. I mean, it's 90, 95 degrees out there. They get pretty hot. They kind of stress. They're going to lose more moisture through their leaves than they can actually pick up through the root system. But when the sun goes down, I mean, it's still light outside, but the sun's gone down. If they perk right back up, then they are just fine. You know, just
okay.
You don't have to worry about it at all. But the best thing to do to help prevent that is to get the root system as healthy as possible so the plant can pick up water better. And so the Bigfoot that Will and I have been talking about, the Bigfoot is amazing at doing that. The compost tea that we sell at the store has tons of mycorrhiza, beneficial bacteria in there, really gets your soil healthy, allows the plant to pick up and utilize the water that's there more effectively than it would otherwise, and your plants won't stress as much.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're so welcome, Noel. Thanks for calling this morning.
You bet.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Got about 4 more minutes left, and so, let's talk a little bit about lawns right now. Because
so great time to plant. So between now and the 1st of October is, hands down, the best time of year to plant grass seed. So if you're planting new grass, don't worry about it being hot. It comes up faster. So if you plant a nice blend of Kentucky bluegrass the 1st of April, it'll take 3 to 4 weeks for it to come up. If you plant that same bluegrass right now, it'll be up in 5 days.
5 days?
5 days, yeah. You'll see little grass popping up in 5 to 7 days. Yeah, so much faster. And so a lot of our customers are coming in asking for more drought-tolerant grass because they are trying to conserve. And it's great that our customers are becoming, and our valley in general, is becoming more conscious of how much water that we're using on our turf. Yeah, and so there's some really great mixes. So our Mark's mix is super drought tolerant. It's dark green. It's gorgeous. It has more disease and insect resistance built into it. And you could get away with watering it once every week to 10 days, and it would look great all summer long. And so the Mark's mix is a great option. It's a little bit coarser than a Kentucky bluegrass, but not much. You can walk on it barefoot, and it's not like prickly or anything. So it's a really, really nice grass. I have it in parts of my lawn, and it literally gets half as much water as the rest of my turf does, and it is the greenest part of my lawn all summer long.
Stays green.
It just stays green. Yeah, beautiful. It's just really good. But we've got a new variety of grass that we started doing a couple of years ago. Doug from Agronotech told us about it, and it's called Eden. And Eden is great for park strips. I mean, the Mark's mix is really good for park strips as well, too. But the Eden is even more drought tolerant, and it's more aggressive, so it self-repairs better. So it's got some dwarf drought-tolerant bluegrasses in it, and then it has a dwarf tall fescue in there. So the tall fescue is not as big and thick and coarse as your usual tall fescues. But that tall fescue can get root system 2-3 feet deep into the soil. And so it can go like weeks without water, and it will stay green because the root system is so big on it. Deep. Once you get it established. And so Eden is a wonderful option if you want to like incorporate some more drought tolerance into your existing grass, or if you're planting new areas, like you've got a brand new park strip and you don't want to have to like put too much water out there, Eden would be great. And it would be very compatible with the trees that are in your park strip as well too. But you could get away watering that once every week to 10 days, and it will stay green all summer long. And it's critical you keep water out there for your trees. We want those trees to grow because we need that shade. But in those park strips, drip system for the trees, sprinkler system for the lawn, but you could set it to water once every 2 weeks, and your park strip would be minimal mowing, minimal water, and it would still look really good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, some great advice, and we hope you tune in again next week for the Garden Guide here on KVNU Logan as it